Algebra. We are doing POFitty-Five today, which is kind of the opposite of what you did in PO54. In 54, you graphed the equation when it was given to you. Now in 55, you are going to be writing the equation of a line that has been graphed. So it's kind of going backwards. You went from the equation to the graph, now you're going from the graph to the equation. So we're going to start by reviewing what slope-intercept form looks like, what it is, and what each of the variables represent. So what is slope-intercept form?
Oh.
If you forgot, flip back a couple pages because you have this exact same starter on the before. Okay.
Y equals mx plus b.
Y equals mx plus b. That is slope-intercept form. And the variables that we care about for now are the m and the b, right? They tell us the information that we want about these lines. So what does the m variable represent? Slope, right? It's how you move. M for move, M for slope. What's the b variable represent? Abby? The y, kind of, close enough. The y-intercept. Warning for you, Jeffrey.
No, that wasn't me.
That was.
Ooh, second warning for you, Liam?
No, that was me.
I don't think it was.
It was
The
Jeffrey.
y-intercept.
Excuse me?
Okay?
It was the table.
Where that line is going to be crossing the y-axis. Okay? And so in 54, when you're given the equation, you looked at the value for b, you plotted it on the y-axis, you looked at the value for m, you moved to get that second point, and you connected the dots. Okay? Today we'll be doing the opposite. We don't care about this yet, we will shortly, but the x value, or the x variable, represents the x value of any ordered pair on the line. Okay? The x value of any ordered pair on the line, and the y variable represents the y value of any ordered pair on the line. We will care about those in, I think, next objective, maybe the one after that. But for today, slope and y-intercept. So in addition to writing the equation, you also look at practice plotting points. It's just good, rather than me doing the lines for you. I'll give you points to plot. You plot them, get that practice, you draw the line, and then we'll write the equation of it. So let's take a look. 0, 2, and 3, 1. So go ahead and plot those points. 0, 2 on the y-axis, and then the point 3, 1 is going to be right here. Remember, every ordered pair is an xy form, right? So that x value written first, 3 on the x, 1 on the y, and just good practice, just good habit. Connect those with the line there. Arrows on each end, showing it goes on forever. Okay. And our goal today now is to write the equation of this line. And the two things we need the slope, and we need the y-intercept. Right? With those two pieces, that's enough information to write the equation of the line. Who can give me one of those two things? Colin.
The slope is negative or down 1 side 3.
Okay, so the slope, Colin's saying, to get from one point to the next, we're going down 1 over 3. And remember, we do read a graph from left to right, right? So we are going to start with a point on the left side. Down 1 over 3, what does that translate to a slope? How would we write that as a slope? Camille?
3 over 1.
Not 3 over 1. Remember that vertical change goes up top?
Negative 3 over 1.
Not negative 3 over 1.
Negative 1/3.
Negative 1 over 3, right? That vertical change, that upward or downward movement is the numerator. The change in y over change in x. So down 1 on the y-axis, right 3 on the x-axis, our slope would be negative 1/3. Okay? The y-intercept, in the spirit of Christmas, right there for you, Jack. 2. Right? Where's it cross the y-axis? It crosses at 0, 2. Okay? So with those two pieces of information, we remember that the slope in the slope-intercept form is the m variable. The y-intercept in slope-intercept form is the b variable. Y and X are just going to stay as Y and X. We're not using those yet. We're not plugging anything in for them. And so our answer here is going to be Y equals negative 1/3 X. Right? Notice I kept Y and X the same, but I replaced M with negative 1/3 plus 2. Y equals negative 1/3 X plus 2. Why? Because it crosses the y-axis at positive 2. There's the b. And the slope, as we calculated here, down 1/3, that goes in the place of m. Okay? First look at it. Questions? Okay. Let's do another one. 0, 4, and negative 4, 2. Plot those points. 0, 4 is going to be on the y-axis right there. And negative 4, 2, negative 4 on x, 2 on y is going to be right there. Connect the points with a line. Okay. And now we look for the pieces, right? What's our m variable? What's our b variable? What's our slope? What's our y-intercept? Who can tell me what one of those things is?
What?
Who can tell me what one of those things is? We need the slope. We need the y-intercept. Take a look at the graph, okay?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, slope is negative 8, 2.
How do you get negative 8, 2?
I plotted it wrong.
Okay?
That's
Griffin?
Negative 2, 7 or 8?
Negative 2, 7, or 8? How are you getting that slope?
Oh. Oh, so
Okay? What?
2, 4.
How are you getting that slope?
You go up 2 and over 4.
Okay. Rise over run. We start on the left here. Those of you that said negative, maybe you were starting with the point on the right. Can we kind of go down? Right? We go from left to right. Always start with the point on the left. That's this point here. From this point, we're going up 2. That's where y got the 2, and we're going over 4. Okay? So our slope is 2 over 4. However, because it's a fraction, what should we be doing with that, Colin? Simplify it to be 1 over 2. And that works because if you notice, if we do go 1 over 2, up 1 over 2, we get a point on the line again. So going up 1 over 2 twice is the same thing as going up 2 over 4 once. Okay, but since slope is a fraction, it should be written in simplification. So we got that, Kylie?
Would the 2 be a negative?
It wouldn't be a negative, no, because we are going up. We go up the y-axis. Our values are getting larger as you go up the y-axis, so it'll be positive. Okay, when you go down the y-axis, that's when you get the negative. Okay.
For the next one, would it be instead of plus? So like it would be y equals 8/5 x.
Well, we're not on the next one yet. I'll plot those points first before we go that route. So save that for.
I get the 1/2.
I got. Do you know how I got the 2/4? What?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I got the 1/2 by simplifying the fraction 2/4. Okay. Since it is a fraction, you should write it in simplest form. Camille.
So it doesn't matter if the number is negative?
It doesn't matter when you say the number. What are you talking about?
Like negative 4?
Okay, no, it doesn't matter because the slope isn't a location. It's how you get from one point to the next. From this first point where it's positive, negative, or whatever, from there, we're going up the y-axis 2. So we're gaining 2. And then we're going over on the x-axis 4. We're gaining 4. So positive 2 or positive 4. It doesn't matter what sign that ordered pair number is. In the first one, the reason why it's negative 1 is because we went down 1 on the y-axis. We decreased. Jack.
Since you're making the equation, if you have a negative number like x equals, say, take that -3, would I do plus -3, or could I just do x equals minus, or x minus 3?
X minus 3 would be, either one's right, but x minus 3 is more acceptable.
Okay.
What is the y-intercept here? We're not quite done yet. We have the slope. What's the y-intercept?
4.
4, right? Where's it cross the y-axis? It crosses the y-axis at 0, 4. We have the two pieces of information that we need. So now putting it together, we've got y equals 1 over 2x, right? Our m, 1/2. Y equals 1/2 x, and then our b value plus 4. Okay? The slope always goes before that x value. The y-intercept, the b, always goes at the end. Why?
So if it's like a 0 negative, and would that be a -4? Like it was like 0, 4?
If it wasn't
If it was
0, negative 4, it'd be -4.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. So now, Kate was asking a question about this next one here. Let's plot the points. We've got 0, negative 3 as our y-intercept, our first point, and 5, 5 as our second point. Now I see where you got the -8 from before. We're dealing with, yeah, okay. However, is this going to be a -8, Cade?
No.
Why will it not be?
Positive.
It'll be positive 8.
I just had a question. Okay, so the y would be -3, right?
So our b value, the y-intercept, yep, would be 0,
And then
-3.
And then when you like put that into like the equation, like the y equals, would it be instead of like for the second one it was +4, would it be -3?
Yep. What is the slope of this one? Shay?
8 over 5.
8 over 5. From the point on the left to get to the point on the right, we're going up the y-axis 8, so it's positive 8. And then over to the right on the x-axis 5, so it's positive 5. And that gives us 8/5 for the slope. Right? Can't be simplified, so nothing else we can do with that. We take those two values, we take the m, we take the b, we put them together in our equation. Y equals 8/5 x minus 30 would be the equation of that line. So this is kind of the culmination of really the last, 3 of our previous objectives, right? Have you found slope from a line that's been graphed before? Yes. It was on your last test. You had two Khan Academy assignments on it. You've done this before. You found slope of a line that's been graphed. That's all you're doing to find m here. Have you looked at the graph and identified a y-intercept? Yes, you did that at the very start of the unit, right? So that's the b there. Okay? So that math you've done before. Now it's just putting it into slope-intercept form, which we kind of introduced, we covered yesterday. This is just kind of, it's nothing new here. It's just doing it together. Right? You've done all these concepts before. Yeah.
When do you think we're gonna get those tests back?
It kind of depends on how things go at home and kids needing me for stuff and this or that or whatever else. So no, actually, my world ranking has plummeted since my paternity leave ended. Plummeted. I'm 108 now. I was up to 98 now. Now I'm 108.
Oh.
So yeah, Mario is not a factor here. Okay. Any others you want to talk about? This is a 1-pager. Oh, it's a 2-pager. Fantastic. Any others on the first page or the second that you want to go over? Kylie. The 2, 2, and 0, 3? Okay. So 2, 2, and 0, 3, again, start by plotting those points. 2, 2 is right there. 0, 3 is up there. Connect, oops, I missed, but don't miss. Connect the points to the line. And even though we plotted 2, 2 first, we're still going to start with the point on the left, right? It's not the first or the second point. It's the point on the left getting to the point on the right. So what is the slope and y-intercept of this line? Give me either one. Colin.
-1/2.
Is the slope, and you are correct. To get from the point on the left to the point on the right, we're going down the y-axis, so it's a -1. And then over on the x-axis to -1/2. right? Down the y-axis, negative, up the y-axis, positive. And what's the y-intercept here? What's the y-intercept? Kylie?
2,
Sorry?
2, 2.
Not going to be 2, 2. Remember, the y-intercept is where it crosses the y-axis. So at what point does this cross the y-axis? 3. And also, this second ordered pair, what do we know about the ordered pair of every y-intercept?
0.
X is always 0, right? Which we have here. And in fact, every single one that I give you an ordered pair where the x value is 0. So the y-intercept is not only one of the points that you plot, but you can also see on the graph where it passes through. Okay. So the y-intercept, our b value is 0, 3. Someone put this together in slope-intercept form for us. Place the m and the b in the equation. What do we come up with? What do we get? K.
Y equals -1/2 x.
Good. Y equals -1/2 x plus 3. Camille.
I have a question for the one on the previous slide.
Okay. Before we do that one, any more here?
No.
Anything else? All right. 0, -5, and 5, 0. What's your question on this one?
So for this slope, it's like 5/5. So would we have to like do 0 or like 1 for that?
Yes. When you plot those points, that's the line that we get. Camille has calculated the slope going from the left to the right to be up 5 on the y-axis, over 5 on the x-axis. Okay? Up 5, over 5. 5 over 5 does simplify to be 1. Since 5 divided by 5 equals 1. Our y-intercept, 0, -5, right? We have that x value of 0 there. 0, -5. So, our equation, y equals our slope of 1, which you don't even have to write. Remember, we talked about this, the slope is 1, you don't have to write it. But if you do, it would be 1x minus 5. If you just wrote y equals x minus 5, that would be the same thing. Either one would be acceptable. Put the 1 there if you want to. Don't if you don't want to. Okay? For your key points here, find that slope, find that y-intercept. Questions on this? Yes, sir.
Do we need to do the whole other page?
You do. It's due Monday.
Oh.
Okay? Plot the points, find the slope, find the y-intercept, write the equation. Homework due on Monday. Yes, all of POFitty-Five. Tomorrow is a retake day during class. Okay? You also need your next math packet then as well. So this will be due on Monday. Questions, comments, concerns, complaints, comments, congratulations, criticisms.
Congratulations!
Johnny? Anything else? All right, that is how you math.